Time for Team Battle Skarner. Anyhow, this is a scrim match before against another team that we fought 2 times already. We've won one, they've won another. In any case, we did our picks and bans, 6 bans and then picks. We banned out their Scion, Talon, and Udyr, while they banned out Lee Sin, Morgana, and the last one I'm not sure. I think it was a pick that didn't really matter. Either way, they let us get Graves, and I chose Skarner. Now, we also picked Gangplank as a support, just to keep the enemy jungler from having any other jungler besides Nocturne as a choice. Since I knew he didn't play Skarner all that much. In any case, I did not get the correct masteries. Runes. I was playing Tryndamere in the game before, so I got stuck with these. They're Armor Pen, Reds, and Prince. In any case, the enemy team started off by stealing my raids. So instead, I start off my wolves get blue and immediately steal his. I'm like, okay, that did nothing to me. And that little wall thing that you just saw, that's just a little replay bug. There's no hacking or anything. Anyways, I clear my jungle, get level 4, and I'm a control jungler. There was a reason why we banned out a lot of other junglers versus this guy. If he's supposed to be Nocturne, a strong control jungler like Skarner can take advantage of him in a lot of turns. So I just immediately go to steal his small wolves, since I know they'd be spawning about that time. So I have a small leg up. If I can keep Nocturne down enough, I can take advantage of the fact that he's a ganking jungler and he needs ganks in order to transition well. I'm a control jungler. I can just stay here and farm and be sustained. He's gotta keep up his momentum. In any case, I'm trying to reach level 6 as quick as possible, and the enemy Nocturne has ganked mid for no real result, and ganked top to bust out a flash. In any case, my laners are so far good. Well, anyway, and Nocturne, it was caught in the bushes. We knew he was there, and so fighting ages. I failed my flash, but Cassiopeia managed to deal enough damage to kill the Nocturne, and I try to get enough mana to use my Q, so keep trying to kind of back to use it, and he wastes flash to punch me in the face and kill me. Either way, that gives Cassiopeia 2 kills, and that gives me 2 assists. So I'm far up ahead in gold, and versus a Nocturne who I'm going to be keeping down, since I'm a control jungler and he's a ganking jungler, that's already a really bad thing, especially the guy that I have Madrids and Vampiric Scepter. So I donate my blue to my Cassiopeia, and I want to gank bottom, but it isn't really a gankable lane. Taric and Kog'Maw are dangerous, and Taric himself just keeps me from going in. I was trying to hope that's something you clear up and I can go to the bushes, but never mind. I go home, get a couple wards for my team. While Nocturne is doing his red, I'm going to see if I can gank Singed. However, though, Singed, I guess, has a ward and backs off in time. My Graves needs to go home, so he goes home. I get my small golems and immediately, just head back to make sure we don't lose any experience to the tower. I get them, Graves will show up in time. I'll grab my red and hopefully try to gank something. I have my ultimate now that gives me pretty good power in ganking. It is probably one of the best ganks in the game. Pre-level 6, Skarner is not that strong. After level 6, he's really strong. They gank bottom, thus showing that Nocturne is down there. So I can't really do anything, so I'm just kind of hanging about. So I'll give my team a couple wards and head to mid and hopefully achieve something. Again, nothing much, but I catch the enemy Nocturne trying to do his raids. So I'll do what a control jungler does best and just steal things from right under people's noses. But Galio decides to engage on me, and my Cassiopeia flashes into his ultimate, but after that ultimate is done, we're just going to burst him down. So we get another kill on Galio, and I get the raids. Now, to explain something, the enemy team is not weak. We just counter-picked them and forced them into a position. They've beat us in the game prior, pretty handedly. Anyways, we get a dragon easily, and I get ward for my teammate to counter jungle and, assist him more. And right now, I'm on a huge substantial lead versus Nocturne. Nocturne barely reached level 6 and tried to gank top, and he's going to succeed, but it's not going to be good for him. Now I'm even more ahead. There's one thing I forgot to mention. Oh, look at this. I go to the end blue and then realize they have clairvoyance. So like they knew that with Nocturne dead, I'd probably try to do something sneaky. But them throwing a clairvoyance at me makes me know one thing. They had no ward to up in the river to tell them that I was gonna head down there. So there's no ward there. Singe might have a ward there now, but he didn't have that prior. Anyways, like I said, my runes are the wrong ones. 25 armor pen instead of movement speed quints and attack speed reds. However, that still works out since, you know, Skarner's pretty good this way too, though not optimal. My masteries are 1, 13, 16 grabbing movement speed. Anyways, right there, Tarek wants to go ward, and I could have caught him, but, you know, I was too hasty there, so I let him slip by my fingers, or pincers. In any case, I go to hide to the bottom bushes, but at the second I got there, I realized, you know, the minion saw me there. If you saw the minion, he moved into position to be able to see me. So I just go donate a ward to my team and then scram. The enemy Nocturne was going to my red, and I told my teammate to stop him. Anyways, I catch him, and we get another easy kill. Galio has no escape, so we're trying to tear into him. Or he has an escape, but he used it a little too late, and he took too much damage. However, despite Ignite and the dots and the red on him, he's going to survive because of how badass that shield is on Galio. So, we're pushing down mid, taking down the tower. We are going to get this, I believe. Yeah, and now I have an even bigger lead. I should explain why I bought the items I got. I have 2 no magic mantles instead of, you know, making one of Merc Threads or anything. I'm building Merc Threads and an Aegis for my team. See, you know, the issue with Jungle Skarner, even though, you know, he got pretty buffed and, you know, a lot more awesome, is still that he's still a gold dependent champion. So if there's anything that works on junglers like this that can function, you know, well without a lot of items, I mean, at least in terms of survivability, and still has some kind of utility like slows and a snare or something, is you can build them tanky with cheap items like Aegis of the Legion and Merc Threads and Wit's End and stuff. So you go low tier defensive items to make up for the gold loss. So lane Scar, we get an easy drag, and they have no wards, and we kind of shoot them away, force them to, you know, play defensive. So with that, we got an easy dragon. But now they have a pink ward right there where we're standing, so yeah, like, we're just gonna keep a mental note of that. And anyways, I was explaining, lane Skarner is strong too. You know, like you've seen Udyr and all that other crap. Sustain damage can really bite you if you get a little too excited right there. That being said, like, you know, you can't always have that lane available to you. Or, you know, Jungle Skarner is not all that bad either. You can have him and somebody else. In any case, I have no idea what Tarek was trying to do, and he kind of went into our jungle and got himself killed. So I give my teammates a ward down there in the bushes, and this kind of lets us freeze us up to go invade. Now we have full control of this jungle, and I flashed and ulted the Kog'Maw, but for some reason my ultimate didn't, you know, connect. Sometimes it connects and drags the person back even after they flash, so it's kind of a buggy ult. Makes sense for him being Scorpion. In any case, jungle domination and jungle control is set. We rush at them and they blow their slow and they're stunned at me, but Kog'Maw hits a trap. He's gonna get killed even if I don't grab anybody, so I aim for Tarek and drag him back to my team, and we get a double kill for us. And Graves is the one getting it, and we all know how overpowered Graves is at this moment. Don't deny it. Galio flashes in and ults us, and I try to aim for the tower while slowing and everything. I'm going to die, but we get kills for this in return. So it's a 2 for 2 and a tower, so it's worth it, especially since it's the carries getting the stuff. Though Gangplank, I guess, got a dot or some cannonball killed Galio. In any case, we're really far up ahead right now. The enemy Singed is building a Frozen Heart, which would be the best item versus our team, but Kara, our Gangplank, is building Stark's Fervor to counter that. Combined with the E, it's basically, you know, nullifying each other, but we will still get the lifesteal and awesome stuff like that. And Frozen Heart doesn't give armor to everybody. I'm gonna build a Frozen Heart of my own to counter the Nocturne and the Kog'Maw. I'm basically building tank Skarner. Sadly, jungle Skarner is kind of relegated to being tank Skarner because it's easier to build for a tank, in my opinion. Especially on the champion who already has innate tankiness. You just make him bulkier. I use him as initiator, a guy who just sticks to the carry and drags somebody back to their demise. Right, so we have the lead. We're controlling everything. Cassiopeia's top and still pushing. So right now we're just waiting for Dragon to spawn again so we can take it. Or we're hoping the enemy does something and we can fight. Cassiopeia takes top and is now free to roam, and while Singe is already heading middle. With that, we decide we should just farm our jungle, get more items, and recollect our stuff. So I get a frozen Glacier Shroud and red candy thing, which is the red elixir, and this is during Halloween time. So, anyways, their Tarek has an oracle, and he's trying to take our wards. So that's what we place 2. We place 2 wards. Just if he takes one, he might not suspect that we have another in the other bush, and if he takes one, we can still have some vision. Whereas we place another one just to see if they're advancing or if they know we're still, or if they're still there. So they're, they are there and they're advancing, and our Cassiopeia is completely out of position, so she's gonna get caught. Nocturne's ultimate blinds me, so I'm kind of just rushing in there trying to see if I could do anything. Very minor damage was done, and Galio ults in on us. However, they fight on top of Gangplank's ultimate, and I flash out to escape, but Grave is overpowered and deals a lot of damage, and I drag Galio back to his death. Singed manages to escape with a little bit of health, but Graves and I, mostly because Graves, are gonna follow him and pick him off. During this time, Delantine, our Graves, was cursing up a storm, hating how Singed almost got away. However, though, this basically gives us a free Baron. We are now miles ahead of the enemy team. Their blue is about to spawn too, but we'd rather just collect everything, buy our items, and be badasses somewhere else. I get more wards instead of finishing up the Frozen Hearts. We need more ward cribbers, and control junglers love that. At this point, though, it's kind of no longer jungling, it's just transitioning. We're sharing the stuff. So they take my ward, and I just place another one right there because, sure, it can give them 10 gold, and I'll lose some 75 gold, but right now it's kind of dire straits. We want to win this. We don't want to, make any mistake. We're not fighting bad players. We got our asses kicked in the last one, but in this one, we got our stuff together. There's a large wave at bottom, and I just tell Messiah or Caitlyn, go get it. The rest of us will get Dragon easily. And we decide to push down mid. Bottom wave should push slightly in there, but I don't think it'll last that long. So we try to chip at the tower, thanks to the fact that we have, double range and a tanky guy with a shield. However, though, it's kind of dangerous for me to go there, especially because they have tons of damage. So Starks, when we hit anything with health, it's gonna help us out. Especially we already have regeneration from the Baron. As you saw there, Tarek flashed because he was afraid I was gonna grab him with my ultimate. I wouldn't. I was nowhere near getting him, but why risk it? I would have reached him, but I wouldn't have done it due to the fear of Galio ulting on my team if I did so. In any case, they initiate on me, and I'm tanking the turret for far too long, not really realizing it. And I'm like, oh wow, why am I still tanking this? Anyway, this is an easy tower for us. We exchange a couple ults and a couple shots, and we get the inhibitor as well. Now, Graves, Dylan, our honey badger, he decides to, go in and kill Kog'Maw because, he hates Kog'Maw. He hates worms, he hates tremors. So, now we've got a bigger lead. I get another candy of power, and I finish my Frozen Heart. So, team-wise, we're synergizing well. We've got our stuff together. We're helping each other out. Our team is made to disengage very easily and engage through, slows and snares. Well, not snares, slows, and lots more slows, and area denial. So, as you can see, the timer, it's almost about to end. So here's the final team fight. We're pushing down top. You know, we're gonna get some poking damage in the tower, and I'm just concerned with Gali ulting us, so I kind of stay as far away as possible. Because there's one thing I can do. He flashes in. Before he gets near my team, I drag him away. So thus, his team is caught out of position, and he's been barraged to hell, and they're just going to get wiped out. They didn't have their proper initiation, so with our counter initiation, we gained the lead, and we picked them off. Now, I try to finish Kog'Maw, but I realize, you know, he'll kill me because I am, you know, Skarner, and he's Kog'Maw. Though Messiah is like not one to let, you know, people escape and live and have happy lives. Goes in after the kill and snipes Kog'Maw to finish the game with an ace. The enemy team surrenders, and it was a good match for my team. We had, you know, after a couple blunders from the previous games, we got our stuff together and had a good time.